I'm Oretha McInnis, pastoral assistant here at the Basilica of Saint Mary's. I want to take this opportunity to thank the Knights of Columbus, and particularly Dr. Kelly Francis, for this opportunity to talk again about this wonderful pastor who began this parish that we love so much. And I'll read something from that anniversary presentation. 2 years after Father John Dubois established Virginia's first Catholic congregation in Norfolk, the borough's population was increased by the arrival of 137 vessels bearing refugees from Saint Dominica, consisting of mostly Catholic whites, slaves, and free persons of color. Joining with the congregation, Father Dubois, these refugees erected Norfolk's first Catholic church, the city's first racially mixed religious body, on property bought in 1794. That property is the site of our church, the Basilica of Saint Mary. Since its establishment 29 years before the creation of the Diocese of Virginia in 1820, Norfolk Catholics have had many outstanding pastors. In recognition of the ongoing celebration of our 150th anniversary, we recognize one of those priests whose image has been placed here at the altar, Father Matthew O'Keefe. In addition to being one of the great heroes of the 1855 yellow fever epidemic and the priest who married General Douglas MacArthur's parents, Father O'Keefe has gone down in history of the city of Norfolk as one who did not confine his ministry to Catholics, but to ministering to all, regardless of race or creed. The name of Father O'Keefe was upon every lip throughout the country for his deeds of courage and devotion to his people. Because there were several Negro residents of the city worshiping at the then St. Patrick's, Father O'Keefe was approached to have only segregated services, which he declined to institute. Because he had requested police protection for the abuse his congregation endured because of this stance, on December 8, 1856, a fire was believed to have been set by a secret organization in retaliation. The fire demolished every ignitable article except 3 walls. Faced with rebuilding St. Patrick, Father O'Keefe had the daunting responsibility of finding funding for a new structure. His small congregation had lost 1/3 of its members to the yellow fever epidemic only a year earlier. He secured permission to solicit funds throughout the dioceses of Richmond, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, and Brooklyn from 1857 to 1858. In order to go out and beg for money, Father O'Keefe left the city every Monday evening and returned on Sunday just in time to attend to his Sunday duties. 18 months from the time the cornerstone was laid and a debt of $65,000, the first Sunday of October, 1858, St. Mary's was completed and dedicated under the pastorate of its first pastor, Father Matthew O'Keefe. Although he continued to collect funds, supervising details, and making contacts, the new church was dedicated to Saint Mary of the Immaculate Conception and was the first church to bear the name after the definition of the dogma of the Immaculate Conception. The church represented more than a beginning of a new church. It was the fruit of efforts begun many years earlier to nourish the seeds of faith in this new world. In order that future generations may not forget this man, the bronze tablet in the vestibule was erected to his memory in this church he founded. That inscription reads, In memoriam, Reverend Matthew O'Keefe, born in Waterford Island, May 11, 1828, died in Towson, Maryland, January 28, 1906, was the pastor of this parish for 35 years and erected this church in 1858. The glory of God and the salvation of souls were the objects of his devoted life. For over 50 years, he was a priest who never faltered in his duty to God and his people. Today, we and all Catholics in the cities of Tidewater and this diocese, looking on the splendid panorama of this beautiful Gothic structure, the fruit of achievements of previous generations, and this man of God, can proudly express with heartfelt gratitude to the being whose presence adorns this mother church of Tidewater, Virginia. We have indeed come this far by faith. Thank you, Father Matthew O'Keefe, for showing us the way.